When Europeans arrived in Australia, they dislocated a way of life that had survived for 50,000 years. The diseases they brought rocketed through the indigenous populations long before the Europeans settled areas outside of the city basin. The deadly flu, smallpox and other epidemics troubled an already difficult relationship. Europeans found the land and its inhabitants strange and unnerving. There were animals that seemed odd, and the reluctance of the local people to engage in trade or become tame workers for the invaders infuriated them. Yet there were moments of mutual understanding and cooperation. Some of the earliest children's literature produced by Europeans, for example, were retellings of indigenous stories to which they had listened. These were stories that had existed for countless generations, passed on with great care. Mary Ann Fitzgerald's King Bungaree's Pyala, stories illustrative of manners and customs that prevailed among Australian Aborigines, 1891, is an example. Though it operated from within what we would call a racist discourse, the book at least acknowledged the native informant Bungaree. Later editions did not, and it contained a glossary of indigenous terms. It did, however, make substantial changes to the stories to meet European expectations. In 1896, Katie Snow, writing as K. Langloh Parker, published Legendary Tales, Folklore of the Noongaburras as Told to the Pickaninnies, a collection of Dreamtime stories that became popular with young readers. Snow had grown up in northern New South Wales and knew Indigenous people well. Importantly, the tales are not told by a distanced narrator, but by Indigenous people who are given an identity. Peter Hippie, Hipitha, Mata, Baraguri and Bimani. The 1898 More Tales is available in the ACU library in electronic form. The 1896 edition was illustrated by the Aboriginal artist Tommy McRae. He's worth looking up on the internet. In future weeks, we will be looking at the stories Indigenous writers continue to tell. In particular, we'll be looking for works that come from Magabala Press, which specialises in Indigenous books for young readers. This week, we confine ourselves to two types of colonial stories for children. The topics are lost children and adventure. The fear of being swallowed up by the endless landscape is very real to the settlers, and they responded to the landscape with fantasies of adventure that were grounded in anxieties about racial and gender identity. Good hunting this week. You'll have a bit of reading to do.